Sometimes a playoff game isn't really a game. It's just a straight up brawl. But even inside all that chaos, one player can completely bend the entire contest to their will. So today, we're going to break down how Cade Cunningham's unique two-speed approach to the game turned what was a messy fight into an absolute tactical masterclass.
And yeah, that's exactly what this game felt like. I mean, the commentary team just said it all, right? This wasn't just basketball. It was a dogfight wrestling match. Seriously, from the opening tip, the intensity was just off the charts. A super physical, grinding defensive battle. You just knew it was going to be a long, tough night for both offenses.
So that begs the real question here. When a game gets this messy, this physical, and every single basket feels like a massive effort, how does a team, or really, how does one player impose their will and just seize control of the whole thing? Well, the Pistons, they had a pretty fascinating answer.
All right, so first things first, it all starts with just a leaning right into that chaos. The first speed of this Pistons team is their whole defensive identity. We're talking an absolute frenzy of high energy and just relentless aggression. They didn't even try to calm the game down. No, they used that chaotic energy as their fuel.
And the result of all that frenzy, 11. That's 11 total block shots. This wasn't just, good defense. No way. It was a complete and total rejection of anything and everything the Magic tried to do with the rim. Every drive was contested. Every single shot was challenged.
And you saw these kinds of spectacular moments pop up all game long. You had Asar Thompson coming over for what the announcer perfectly called a sensational rejection, just completely erasing the shot. Plays like that really set the tone, early and often.
But here's the thing, it wasn't just one guy either. You had Jalen Green coming from behind with this incredible help defense for another huge swat. It was basically a team-wide block party. And all that constant pressure, you could see it just created this sense of panic for Orlando's offense.
So, okay, all those blocks and deflections, they're just creating more and more chaos, which naturally leads to turnovers. The Pistons' defense wasn't just about stopping the other team. It was about creating their own offense. But, and this is what's really interesting, it's how they paired all this frenzy with its complete opposite.
And this is where we meet Cade Cunningham, the calm conductor right in the heart of the storm. So while the defense is playing at like 1,000 miles per hour, Cade's over here operating at his own methodical, deliberate pace on offense. He's the one turning all that chaos into controlled opportunities.
Yeah, this right here, this perfectly illustrates that whole two-speed attack we're talking about. Look at the team defense. It's all high energy, it's aggressive, it's chaotic. But then you look at Cade's offense. When the ball is in his hands, totally different story. It's composed, it's deliberate, and it's incredibly patient. And that contrast, that's the whole key to their success.
The commentary team absolutely nailed it when they said this. He's never in a hurry. He just controls the pace. And that's exactly it. He dictates the tempo, he forces the defense to play his game on his terms. He never lets all that external pressure speed up his own internal clock.
Okay, let's break down a perfect example. So Cade gets the ball, right? He uses this little hop step, but it's not to explode to the rim. It's actually to create a moment of stillness. And in that tiny moment, he patiently reads the help defense, he forces the low man to commit, and then, boom, he delivers this perfect feed inside to Jalen Duren for the easy dunk. That right there, that's patience creating points.
So, the big question is, how did these two completely different styles, this frantic defense and this super calm offense, how did they actually work together? Well, they didn't just coexist, they actually fed off each other, creating this powerful synergy that just blew the game wide open.
Okay, check this out. Here's where you see it all come together in one sequence. It starts with Cade's basketball IQ on the defensive end. He anticipates the kick-out pass, jumps the lane, and gets the steal. But then, instead of just rushing, he leads the break completely under control, uses a little hesitation and a crossover to manipulate the defender, and finishes with a tough and one layup. I mean, that's defense directly fueling composed, powerful offense. And when you combine that raw defensive intensity with that level of offensive poise, what do you get? You get what the announcer called an avalanche. It was just this complete and total momentum shift in the third quarter that absolutely buried the Magic. And if you want to see the number behind that avalanche, here it is. The Pistons outscored the Magic 30-3 to open the second half. No, that is not a typo, 30-3. That's exactly what happens when a team can perfectly blend chaos and control. So, what's the final impact of all this? Well, this game really showed us a potential formula for victory for this team, and it was all orchestrated by Cade Cunningham's brilliant command of the game. And his final stat line really tells the whole story of his complete control over this game. 23 points, 11 assists, and 6 rebounds. He was scoring, he was creating for his teammates, and he was even crushing the boards. It was a true do-it-all performance. Just like the broadcasters put it, it was another gem from Cade Cunningham. And it really wasn't just about the numbers, you know? It was about his ability to understand exactly what his team needed at every single moment and then delivering by controlling the game's entire tempo and rhythm. And all this leaves us with a final, pretty big question. We just saw how incredibly effective this blend of frantic defense and composed offense was in this one game. So, is this two-speed approach, orchestrated by a floor general like Cunningham, the actual formula for a championship contender? It's definitely a compelling idea and something we'll have to watch unfold.